Hey everybody, my name is Mrs. Fitch, and do you know who I am? I am Miss Kirk's mommy. Did you know your teacher has a mommy too? She does. She does. She's my little girl. I'm her mommy. And she asked me if I would read a story to you because we used to love to read stories together when she was a little girl. I don't know if I ever read this story to Miss Kirk or not, but I used to read it to my students when I taught sixth graders. And it is a great story about all the relatives, mommies and daddies and grandmas and grandpas and cousins. I have lots of cousins, and I bet you have cousins too. And I used to love when I was a little girl and my cousins came to visit. This book reminds me a lot of when my cousins came to visit. So I'm going to read this story to you, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. The Relatives Came by Cynthia Rylant. Cynthia Rylant is an Appalachian artist. She is a writer from right here in the hills of Appalachia like we are. Look at this first page. Isn't it beautiful? Look at it. There's the car, and there's the house. It was in the summer of the year when the relatives came. They came up from Virginia. They left when the grapes were nearly purple enough to pick, but not quite. Next picture. Look at them in their car, driving down the road. Looks like they're in a hurry, doesn't it? Is it daytime or nighttime? What do you think? Look at the sky. I don't know. Let's see what it says. They had an old station wagon that smelled like a real car, and in it they put an ice chest full of soda pop and some boxes of crackers and some bologna sandwiches. And they came up all the way from Virginia. They left at 4 in the morning. It's dark outside at 4 in the morning. That was our clue. It's still dark. That's before the birds even wake up. Look at this picture. Look at them. Look at them coming. We know what this is, don't we? That's down in a holler. I live in a holler. Do some of you all live in a holler? Miss Kirk grew up in a holler. So we know all about what that looks like. There they come. They're coming up the holler and around the hill, over the ridge. Let's see what happens. They drove all day long and into the night. And while they traveled along, they looked at the strange houses and the different mountains, and they thought about their almost purple grapes that were back at home. They thought about Virginia, but they thought about us too. We were waiting for them. Do you ever get excited when you're waiting for your company to come? Maybe your cousins are coming to play with you or spend the night or have a birthday party. I get so excited when I get company coming. Let's look at this picture. Look at that. Oh, there they are. Yay! Look how excited. They're all throwing up their hands, waving. The cousins are here. The relatives are here. So they drank up all their pop and they ate up all their crackers. And they traveled up all those many, many miles until finally they pulled into our yard. Oh, they were so excited. Look at them. Look at them. They're running to meet their cousins in the car. Let's look at this picture. Oh, look at them. They're all hugging. Look, there's our grandmas and daddies and little cousins and aunts and uncles. Look at them. They're all hugging and so happy to see each other. Look at this. Let's see what it says. Then it was hugging time. Talk about hugging. Those relatives just passed us all around their car, pulling us against their wrinkled Virginia clothes, crying sometimes. They hugged us for hours. Oh, here's another picture. Look at them. They're inside the house now. They've moved inside. I wonder what they're going to do inside the house. Think they might eat together, maybe have a meal. Ooh, I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what happens. When it was into the house, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. Let me go back. Even sometimes adults mess up words, so it's okay if you mess up. You go back and you reread it till it makes sense. Then it was into the house, and so much laughing and shining faces and hugging in the doorways. You'd have to go through at least 4 different hugs to get from the kitchen to the front room. Those relatives, they really loved each other, didn't they? They were happy to see each other. Oh, here's another picture. What are they doing in this picture? We guessed it on the last page. Look, they're sharing a meal together. Let's see what it says. And finally, after a big supper, 2 or 3 times around until we all got a turn at the table, there was quiet talk, and we were in 2s and 3s throughout the house. Let's see, look, there's 2, there's 3 adults. Look over there, there's 3. That looks like a grandpa and maybe an uncle and a little cousin. Look at them. Look at them. They are. They're just all spread out through the house visiting. Oh, goodness. Look at this page. Looks like it's time to go to bed. And they're all trying to find a place to sleep. All those people in the house. Wonder what they're going to do, that many people in the house. The relatives weren't particular about their beds, which was good, since there weren't any extras. So a few squeezed in with us, and the rest slept on the floor. Some of their arms thrown over the closest person. Look at that. That's what happened in there. That little boy's laying there between Grandma and his cousin, and he's got his arm laying across her. That's what happens sometimes when you pile up in the bed together. Some with an arm across one person, and some with a leg across the other. Look over here on this page. Look at that. Look at that guy there in those pajamas. He's got one arm on this person, and he's got one leg on that person. He's taking up the whole floor. It was different going to sleep with all that breathing in the house. Oh, I love this picture. Look at that. Look at that. They're working in the garden. They're playing in the yard. Let's see what it says. The relatives stayed for weeks and weeks. They helped us tend the garden, and they fixed any broken things that they could find. Look, that little boy's getting a haircut. Look, Grandpa's down here playing and taking children on piggyback rides. Oh, up here they're working in the garden, and there they're playing with toys. Oh, they're having such a good time. Oh, look at there. That's where they're fixing stuff. They said they fixed all the broken things. Look what else they did. That's one of my favorite things when my family gets together. When my cousins come, we love to play guitar and sing together. Let's see what it says. They ate up all our strawberries and our melons, then promised we could come eat their grapes and peaches when we came to Virginia. There's another picture. Look at there. Look at all the relatives. Look at them, old and young. It's all the aunts and uncles and cousins, grandmas, grandpas. But none of us thought about Virginia much. We were busy just hugging and eating and breathing together. That's what's fun, isn't it? Being together with people. Oh no. It looks like the cousins are having to leave. Look, they're all loaded up in the car again and going down the road. Look, there they stand. They look kind of sad, don't they? They look sad because their cousins are leaving. Finally, after a long time, the relatives loaded up their ice chest and headed back to Virginia at 4 in the morning. See? Dark outside. 4 in the morning, it's still dark. We stood there in our pajamas and waved them off in the dark. We watched the relatives disappear down the road. Then we crawled back in our beds that felt too big and too quiet, and we fell asleep. Why do you think their beds felt too quiet and too big? Maybe because they were more empty? Their cousins were gone, aunts and uncles were gone. They were having to sleep by themselves. And the relatives drove on all day long and into the night. And while they traveled along, they looked at the strange houses and the different mountains, and they thought about their deep purple grapes waiting for them at home in Virginia. But they thought about us too, missing them. And they missed us. Look at them. They're going home to Virginia in the car. There they are. Driving down the road. And when they were finally in Virginia, they crawled into their silent, soft beds. And they dreamed about the next summer. At their house there in the mountains. Isn't that beautiful? Look at those pretty colors. They look so pretty, don't they? And there's their grapes. Their dark purple grapes. I love this story. It's one of my favorites. I hope you enjoyed it too. I hope you enjoy your cousins and your aunts and uncles and your grandmas and grandpas. I know that I do, and I sure hope you do too. You have a great day. And remember, Miss Kirk is my little girl, so you all be nice to her. Bye-bye.